So how do you think? Again, of course, touching on the topic as far as like with the free movers and traditional style dancers. Like, how do you foresee this going? Like, for me, at this particular point, I think, and I was talking to a friend of mine, about it, and, they were explaining to me that, they've kind of received a little bit of pressure, from the traditional freestyle dancers, but at the same time, it's kind of like, who hasn't? You know what I mean? If we're really being honest, even I definitely know that we've been in that position before, to where it's like, when you do even, and I hate to paint, the traditional freestyle dancers like that, which is mainly crumpers, poppers, breakers, and stuff like that. Like, anytime that you try and do something different, the first thing that they do is they have to try and destroy it, or downplay it or something like that. Like, it's like, bro, like, I did this for me, not for you. And then it's odd that the free movers are the ones that are actually the ones to kind of like welcome, like, or be accepting of like this particular style of art and stuff like that, because not everything needs to be the intense or the typical music that that obviously our genres of dance would accept and stuff like that. So it seems like to me, bro, there's gonna be a little bit of like some heat and some static between everybody, until it gets to a point to where it's like, all right, you free movers have to show that your craft is respected and can hold up in real intense situations, just like us. Because honestly, like we say, for us traditional dancers, some of y'all don't know, we're not tested in competitions. We're tested in ciphers or behind closed doors in people's garage and their backyards or whatever the case may be, on the concrete and stuff. I've seen y'all's videos, bro. Y'all get out there in the middle of a park in a concrete, and it's just like, all right, let's get it.
Yeah.
It just ain't no audience. There's no stage. There's no DJ. It's just the dude that you might be battling, like, hits the track and, all right, let's get it. This is a 45-minute mix.
Yeah.
Show me, like, make me respect you, man. So is that kind of how you see it going, or is it like, do you see it kind of going a different way?
Yeah. So, like, I think when we talk about the shifts, when you were saying Dallas is in a shift right now, we've had quite a few since we started, of course, and my idea of how Dallas was gonna be at this point was gonna be very different than what it is now. So in the free movement, I guess, or the freestyle movement, was not about like, I'm just gonna create something and call it my own and and do whatever I want. It was more about just creating through some traditions, elevating it, helping it evolve, helping it progress in a sense, and not necessarily like, I'm gonna create something, I'm gonna call it something else, I'm gonna teach it, or I'm gonna show people that this is something different or original. But that's something where I'm like, okay, like, that's cool if you want to stay into, like, again, like, if it's like a therapy thing, if it's just like a movement base, it has nothing to do with culture or techniques, then okay, that makes sense. Like, if you kind of like want to teach dance therapy or something like that, it makes sense. But if there's gonna be any kind of techniques that have a traditional background or any kind of cultural background, that's definitely something that should not be happening for sure. Like, it should it should definitely not be happening.
But that's why I try and, like, it's me being somebody who is empathetic and sympathetic to the free movers and what they're wanting to truly do is just simply bring people into the community that maybe we as traditional dancers can't reach, which I will give that to. I've definitely seen a lot more people who are non-traditional dancers bring more people into the freestyle scene, and then some of them transition to being traditional dancers. Because traditional dancers, we're kind of hardcore, which I will admit. But it's kind of hard for me to at the same time say, yeah, I feel what you're trying to do, but it's like, let's keep it real. There's really nothing that you can teach that doesn't touch on some type of traditional dance somewhere. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, I'm like, there may be some stuff to where it's like, all right, you can probably maybe go over level changes and stuff like that. But it's like, all right, but when you get down there, what are you going to start doing? And, like I said in another video, I was like, typical things that we see, threads, 6-step, rolling and stuff like that, animation and stuff like that, waving and tutting are like the biggest things that, we see from all, movers that are on, social media and stuff like that. But it's like, all right, well, it's like you can't touch that because again that falls under the umbrella of popping. You know, so at the same time you kind of biting it a little bit. So it's that's why it's really hard for me to really truly be like, oh yeah, 100% green light. I tell people, I was like, yo, if this is what you're going to do, and you've gone through the whole, you know, community respects you, you've done your integrity, like you're out here battling, et cetera, so on and so forth. You got to hold your own. Like you got to stand on what you know, and if you get pressed, we can't fight this war for you. The people who, you know, fuck with you, we can't fight it for you. You got to get out there and do your own thing. So I think that's the difficult part for me is like I can't just like completely say, oh yeah, nobody's ever going to say anything.
Exactly. Oh yeah.
Somebody's going to test you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think a good indicator for everyone to, especially younger folks to do, is whatever you're working on, and if you feel like it's something you can teach, put yourself in a position, okay, what if you can take that one thing you want to teach and you can out battle someone in your community that does that and more, and or that you can outdo someone in a sense, even older, which it won't be possible, but if you feel like, yeah, man, I can outdo someone and it happens, I don't see it happening, but I can understand that. Well, okay, yeah, you got that down, like you really have that nailed down, but that's something that doesn't happen. It's not gonna happen because a lot of the younger folks, they're like, of course, take it from here. They're like this or like that, but you know, I don't see them using it against someone, you know, in a sense that does that seriously. You know, like if someone's doing b-boying, if I have someone that's crumps and he's doing popping, he's doing b-boying, he's doing juking, he's taking all these things. All right, this dude crump against a crumper, someone who crumps. You do, you know, that half-ass crump against that crump. And you think you're gonna hold up against that, like with what you do? Because you don't pursue it. You just taking some stuff, some jabs, some steps, and you're adding it, you know, for whatever reason. But it's not gonna. And
it only works in open style.
Yeah, it only works in open style.
It only works in open style. It don't work nowhere else. But and just in case y'all didn't catch that, because he said it very nicely, and I'll give an example. If you yourself are somebody like, let's just MJG's here, so I'm gonna use him. If you're somebody who believes that you're a rookie, you're new, you're not actively pursuing animation is what I'll use for now, or even juking for that matter. If you're not actively pursuing the culture of animation or understanding the umbrella, where it comes from, its history, same with juking and stuff like that, and you're not testing it against MJG, then you don't need to be remotely thinking about teaching it. Because you haven't even tested yourself against somebody who's extremely proficient at it. That's why, as much as I fuck with juking, I love it because, like, believe it was something that I didn't realize that I liked that much. But that's another thing that I watch on YouTube all the time. He sent me playlists and stuff like that. But I don't do it because it's just like, damn, if I even remotely try and do this publicly, or like use it in like a competition or something like that without his approval or something like that, I'm gonna feel like a culture vulture. That's my integrity, like switching on, like telling me like, hey, you know better than that. You can't get out here and do this and then proceed to tell these other kids like, hey, don't that crump energy, I see what you're doing. Don't be wild swinging and jabbing and doing all that. Stop it. Right. So please make sure that, like, whatever it is that you believe that you're touching on, make sure that you have the green light first before you do that shit.
Right. Because that still gets you, like, easily exposed, you know? Like, trying something out when you definitely haven't been working on it, and trying to get someone who's spent, years and years dedicated to that one thing, like, it's not going to happen. You're never going to outdo that person at all. It's never. And, of course, again, we were talking about these 30-second competitions. You know, you can kind of fake your way through it sometimes. You know, especially with judges who are not credible and just don't know what real is. You know, like you can fake wins easily.
Facts.
Like you can fake a dub easily with some ignorant judges. To things. So, but like in a cypher setting or in a setting that's real and raw, like you won't survive at all. You won't survive. So
especially in them sessions. You get found out in them ciphers too.
Yeah.
And it's your 10,000 hours of open style crumping or open style juking or any of those other genres of dance will never match up to about 500 hours of crump.
Right.
In its correct environment.
Right.
It won't. Because let's just be real, they're never gonna they don't play crump music consistently out here.
Right,
They don't play crump music almost in any open style jam because it's so difficult for other genres of dance to battle to, so they feel like they're already at an edge. Like it's about a 95% chance if a crumper's dancing to a crumper track and another genre or whatever freestyle mover he dances to it, you're gonna lose.
Yeah.
You're gonna lose.
Sure. It's gonna be.
It's pretty steep,
Right.
you know. The only one that I think they have that for like juking and breakers as well. I think the only one that you may get a pass on because it's relatable is funk. That's it. But other than that, you're not touching the other genre. House, good God.
No, that's
House or whacking vocals and stuff God forbid that they get a song like.
Sure.
And I personally, just for me, I think that housers and whackers are the most dangerous people to battle.
Oh, for sure.
Most dangerous, like, because I mean there's so much technique in it, and then like housers, like they know how to dance through the dead space of music. Like there's no stopping whenever you house. Like they don't, and those bridges and stuff like that, they don't believe in stopping. At least like, you know, poppers, they can kind of animate their way through it.
Yeah.
Crumbers, like we can actually stop. It's okay for you to stop and kind of like just stare into the crowd, and we'll do that. Housers, not happening. You finna get finessed.
Continuous, non-stop. That's tough.
Rhythm.
Wow.
Rhythm. Yeah. That's good. No, I mean that gives me some clarity and lets me know that I'm not crazy.
No, bro. Honestly, I've you know, that's a tradition bearer. Like when I talk to Future, you know, he helped me a lot understand more about, well, mainly seeing his approach with jigging too, because we're both, you know, not black. So I look at him like, you know, seeing a white guy go out there and like,
right.
Okay, like how do they view him in a sense, you know? Because he doesn't go out there and of course, like he doesn't just take things. He brings Memphis folks to out in DC and helps, you know, grow in that sense. So talking to him and realizing, okay, like I'm okay that I'm doing it right if I'm in a position of not kind of just taking, but I'm wanting to help too, give back. Like at least I know that I'm doing something right, and I think that's what dancers should do here. Like if you have someone or a teacher here or someone that's helping you, like have that integrity to lead folks to them. If they're, you know,
right on.
It makes no sense. Like if Franny was here, Franny was here, or if Rika was here, why would I want to teach? You know, why would I teach?
Right.
It makes no sense. Like that's the person. Go to him. Like he's much older. He's been doing it longer. He has more experience. He's actually dedicated to this and that and it. Like why would I teach something that he does?
Right.
That makes no sense. Like. And I feel like younger dancers, if you're gonna teach something, it better not be something that is all that we're doing, you know, in a sense.
Someone's clearly much more proficient.
It makes no sense, right?
Right.
It makes no, and then it comes to that, okay, it's about you just want to make some money, or you want to just be that person that, you know, gets some kind of, you know, status, I guess. But it just always looks funky, you know. It makes no sense. Yeah. Because we're not that big of a community to be able to. You know, LA and stuff, okay, I get it. There's so many people who teach pop and I'm from LA. They come out and they teach, you know, okay, that makes, you know, that's their thing, but we're not that big enough, you know, to where like who's who? Like who we know who's who. Like you know who crumps out here. You know you know who pops out here. You know who jukes out here. You know who, you know, so nothing should be lost in translation. It should be clear and set. You know, and the judges should be clear and set who should be judging.
Yeah.
Whose criteria, who's been, you know, able to see, you know, the difference of movements and styles and cultures and levels and what looks high level, what looks kind of like low level. But again, we're in a place where in Dallas where a lot of things are kind of all over the place in a sense. So sometimes it's like beating a dead horse. Like, okay, I'm not gonna go out and I can't call everyone out and get upset and mad at everyone because it's not gonna help. Like I gotta find different ways to make things work, so or help things, I guess. Yeah,
I think battling motivates people, but educating and kind of leading the charge, I guess, for lack of better words, or being the best you possibly can inspires people.
Right.
You know, indirect contact is what inspires people, but direct contact like motivates people because, you know, motivation dies out real quick. I had to learn the difference between the two. Is that you can be inspired by something by, you know, watching a dog run. Like, I want to go running. You know, being motivated, somebody telling you, hey, get your ass up. Like being lazy, like that's somebody motivating you. So it's funny to hear people when they say like, oh, I want to be motivated. I need motivation. It's just like, Okay, so you need about 2 days.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's not gonna work for you, man. I think inspiration is one of the big things that I think this scene definitely needs, and I think we're on our way. Like, we're making some good ground.
Yeah. And I was talking to someone too recently about like a cycle. You know, there's always like a cycle in certain things, and I feel like we're in that cycle where all the folks are kind of, we're seeing throughout the years, all the folks are kind of like declining or like stopping, right? They're kind of like, all right, I'm gonna go do something else, or I'm gonna go, stay in my own lane somewhere else, not really help out or kind of participate. And we're seeing the folks that are still, here, still want to grow, still working and trying to, cultivate and grow here. And it's definitely the shift, like you're saying, like it's a big shift going on right now. And finding out, like, some things are not working out. Some things are not working out. I don't know if I want to be part of it anymore. I don't know if I want to help out or I may want to, help out in a different area instead of that, So it's a continuous process, but I'm just glad that there's more folks out here my age, that are still wanting to grow and push,
We lost so many people, man.
Yeah, a lot. Man.
Times change. So final thoughts, man. I mean, well, first and foremost, where can people find you, man?
Oh,
social
man.
media.
I'm nobody, I'm just IG MJG DDDs, triple D's, 3Ds.
I'm saying it's like right here at the bottom, so it's right there for you. You see that?
Yeah. Basically, if you want to reach me for anything, or if you want to like talk about anything, definitely let's talk about anything and discussions or questions. Definitely hit up Sylar. Watch the channel, subscribe, so you can keep up with more videos and talk to us about anything, because we're definitely here for conversations, for discussions, for insight, for clarity. Like, you can definitely go to us, and we'll always be here to help. So that's mainly what we want to share. Of course, we're here to talk and come here, and even if you want to be in this chair and have a discussion with Sylar, so you can share your inputs and
Chair's
how
always
you
open.
feel about Dallas in general. Like, it's I encourage you to do that. Talk, discuss.
Right on. Thank you, y'all. Well, appreciate y'all rocking with me. Make sure, again, as we stated, like, share, and subscribe. Leave your comments. If you would like to be a guest on the show, again, I'm not going to discriminate. Rookie, veteran, OG, whatever the case may be, you're more than welcome to come sit in this chair. Be on the lookout. We'll definitely have the Godfather of Crump here soon, Pun, in this chair, so be on the lookout for that. Again, make sure you go follow him, bro, MJG. Again, his tag is right there at the bottom. You can follow me on Instagram, King_Sylar, right there at the bottom. You know what it is. We'll catch you guys in the next one.
Yes,
Peace.
Sir. Peace, y'all.